So with WIMBA, and then giving the presentation, some of us need structure while presenting using WIMBA. I'm one of those. Now, I have been privy to a course in which people have just kind of flown by the seat of their pants, and students ask questions and all that sort of thing all at the same time. But I need a little more order than that in my life. It's a control thing. And so I like to set rules for how we're going to interact at the beginning of the presentation so that I can manage to get my content across, and then questions can also be answered as students have them, using either the text box or by stopping every 10 minutes or so and asking for questions. Using the raise hand tool is a nice tool so that you can see who has questions. And then we use the polling as well. So that's in the box that says the X and the check mark. So if you click on that box, you can choose yes or no. And that's a nice way to just sort of poll everybody to say, is everybody getting this concept? Has anybody used this technology before, et cetera. So using those tools kind of helps keep chaos to a minimum, which I find is helpful in my online class. And Marilyn, who is in, and I appreciate so much her being in the main room and sort of helping answer questions, or she is our WIMBA guru. So Marilyn Dean is a name you'd like to know if you're going to use WIMBA, because you can set it up, et cetera. If you ever have any problems, she works very hard with the WIMBA team to make sure that everything runs smoothly constantly. And here I'm showing you that to lecture, sometimes, usually in WIMBA, you press the talk button to talk, but when you're giving a presentation, you're going to want to lock talk so that you don't have to constantly click the talk button. So that's a nice little hint. If you're talking about a webcam, Patricia, is that what you're thinking? If you're thinking about a webcam, I would recommend Logitech. I wouldn't go with the absolute cheapest one, I think, which is like $19. But I would go with like the mid-level version, which is maybe $39, something like that. But it's a good camera, and I've only ever owned the Logitech. Other people might have different recommendations. Marilyn has a Hercules, and that might be a good alternative. Okay. All right. Pros and cons of, Kristen, I'm not sure. Pretty far. If you want to do more, there are widescreen video cameras. So I'd have to actually look into that. We looked into that for supervising student teaching when I was at Graceland. So let me do some research and get back to you on that, because I know there are some widescreen video cams or webcams. Okay, pros and cons. Good tools for desktop interaction, really nice tools. And when it works smoothly, it works really well. You can see we haven't had any problems. Right now, everybody is still at high bandwidth. We do have one call-in number, actually two call-in numbers, but everybody else has pretty good bandwidth. I hope Rebecca's still with us. Oh, well, it's nice to meet you in person, Rebecca. Well, it's okay. So I'm glad that you're still there, because I was afraid that gray meant that we were losing it. But the green does indicate that we've got good connectivity here. The setup wizard is nice because students can troubleshoot their own tech problems before they get in there. Interaction in text, audio, visual, which is, I really like all three. that really gives it a multidimensional sort of feel. If you're in small groups, particularly if students are collaborating about things, et cetera, that this can be natural and authentic communication. And then you can have them document the conversations if you want to, if that's important to you, if it's something that really can show you that the objectives of your class are being met. Some of the cons would be large group presentations require guidelines for interaction up front. As I was saying, it's really difficult to manage a large group if we don't set up some guidelines. It is possible for users to talk over each other, leading to some disconnects with conversation and content, and that's why, again, we set that structure so we don't have those feedback problems.